Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai Bashem Rakak Wadash Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, this is a read to Ezra's Eagle Apocrypha Prophecy Full Breakdown, which was put up by Deacon Destruction Mode. And I'm watching some of it. I got to watch the rest of it. But he's putting words in my mouth. You got to watch my original video, then you got to watch this video. And what I'll do is, let me just do this. I went into the first triumvirate, which consisted of the middle head, which is Julius Caesar, and then you had Pompey and Crassus. I didn't expound. He said, yeah, Tahar said that Julius Caesar killed Pompey, but Pompey I never said anything about how any of them died. I only spoke about Julius, which was the middle head, the head. He was assassinated. I didn't expound upon Pompey, how he died or killed himself or got sick or whatever. Neither did I expound upon Crassus. So let's get that straight. You're putting words in my mouth. All right? I'm gonna let you listen. You got to listen to this whole thing, because I want to hear how he breaks it down. So let me see. Okay, I'm right here. Where am I? Okay, I'm gonna start. This is Second Ezra's chapter 12, verse 15. I don't want to go through the whole thing. It says, "Whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12. The second is Augustus Caesar, Octavian Caesar. They had a triumvirate of sorts. What was the other two? Mark Antony and what was the other one? Lapidos, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to go through it. I went through it in the other video. And I hadn't broke this down in over 10 years. Okay? So this right here, the 15th verse, is referring to Augustus being the emperor. And this do the 12 wings signified, which thou sawest. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, and that thou sawest not to go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body, which is the Roman Empire itself, thereof this is the interpretation, that after the time of that kingdom. And I was struggling a little bit because I didn't put all my sources together. And the last time we officially broke it down, I believe it was, I don't know, 2000. It was what? Let me see, 16. No, not 10 years ago. It was closer to 8, 16. Yeah, about 8 years, unless we did it in 2014. I don't remember. It was either 2014, 2016. So that would be 10 years. That after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. So there was a time where people were saying this is the end of the Roman Empire. And whereas thou sawest the eight small underfeathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation, that in there shall arise 8 kings whose times shall be but small, and their years swift. And 2 of them shall perish, the middle time approaching. 4 shall be kept until their end begin to approach, but 2 shall be kept unto the end. The 2 unto the end is like, I'm a little rusty on this, is uh uh Titus and Domitian. And whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In his last days shall the Most High rise up 3 kingdoms and renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion of the earth. The in the Roman Empire, so that was a kingdom that had rule over the most they took over the most of the world. They didn't take over the whole world. They're still talking about Rome. It says, and of those that dwell therein with much oppression above all those that were before them, therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. Julius Caesar being one of the heads. Vespasian being also known as a head. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. And whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signified that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. So what is that talking about, Deacon Akar? What is that talking about? Right there. 26, the 26th verse to the 29th verse. It says, and whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signified that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. That's Galba and Vitalis. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And that was Otho. I always confuse Otho and Galba, because you said it was the Byzantine Empire. And you made a statement in your video. Listen to Tahar's video, listen to my video, and see which one. It ain't open to opinion, man. You know, you're going to say mine sounded better. And people that don't know, they know, Deacon the card sounded better. Yeah, but is it right? No. But I got to hear the rest. I got to remember, 8-10 years ago, he said part of the breakdown was the Byzantine Empire. It says, whereas thou sawest 2 feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, it signified that these are they whom the highest have kept unto their end. This is a small kingdom, and few and full of trouble. After thou saw, as thou sawest. And I was talking about go as far back as Nero, because Nero was one of the wings, feathers, wings, whatever you want to call it. Nero was not one of the heads. There's a lot of turmoil during that time period. Nero hated the Israelites and the Christians. And then you had the year of 4 emperors. So that's what we're reading now. It said, and the lion whom thou sawest up, rising up out of the wood, and roaring, and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness, with all the words which thou hast heard. This is the anointed. Right, the lion represents Yahweh Shai, which the highest have kept for them and for their wickedness unto the end. He shall reprove them and shall upbraid them with their cruelty. Still talking about the Roman Empire. For he shall set them before him alive in judgment and shall rebuke them and correct them. For the rest of my people shall be delivered with mercy, those that have been pressed upon my borders. That's talking about them listening. You had two groups of Israelites that experienced this, 70 AD. You had the Israelites that fled because they listened to Yahweh Shai almost 40 years ago. And then you had the ones that stayed. Give you an example. The Zealots stayed. The Sakari stayed. The Sakari had fought against the Romans and the Herodian personal army. So some of them said, "No, we ain't going nowhere. We're going to fight. This is our land." Some of them just didn't know. And others said, "We better get out of here, because the abomination that maketh desolate has entered into the temple." So when you shall see the abomination that maketh desolate, then flee ye to the mountains. So a lot of Israelites that listened to the Messiah fled. And keep in mind, the Apostle Paul was dead. The Apostle Peter was dead. And I believe at that time all the apostles were dead except for John. John was sentenced to the Isle of Patmos. It says, "And he shall make them joyful unto the coming of the day of judgment, whereof I have spoken unto thee from the beginning." This is the dream that thou sawest, and these are the interpretations. Let me see something. I'm sorry. I don't want to read this whole thing. So the angel didn't break down each and every feather, each and every head. So now we got to go to 11. "And behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were great gathered together." That's the Roman Empire. It said, "Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads." Like I said, I'm not going to read the "But her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the others, yet rested it with the residue." That's Julius Caesar. That's not Constantine the Great. It's Julius Caesar. "Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and rained upon earth." What earth? The known earth. The part of the earth that the pagan Roman Empire took. The pagan Roman Empire didn't take over the whole world. "And over them that dwell therein," in that region. "And I saw that all things under heaven was subject unto her. For what does it go in Matthew 11? The kingdom of heaven shall suffer violence, and the violent shall take it by force." Which means the Roman Empire took down Palestine. and made Palestine a province of Rome. That's the eagle. And no man spake against her. No man spake against the Romans. There was people that spoke against the Roman Empire, but they were either put to death or locked up. No, not one creature upon the earth. Go to the history of Israel, of the Roman Empire. You had all kind of groups trying to take the Roman Empire down. You had the story of the account of Spartacus, which is a true story, which he was a Jake. They had a cracker play him. They constantly had wars with the Germanic tribes, and they never completely took Germania. They took parts of Germania, but they never totally took. They took parts of the Germania Major and Germania Minor. They didn't take the whole of Germany. There was certain Germanic forces that they would have battles with, and sometimes they would lose. Sometimes they would have to retreat. But you got to go into the history. It says, "And I saw," 6th verse, "that all things under heaven was subject unto her." Jump down to 7th verse. "And I beheld, lo, the eagle rose up talons, upon her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once. Sleep every one." What does the word sleep mean biblically? It means to die. "Sleep every one in his own place, and watch by course." So you had Julius, Pompey, Crassus. You had Augustus. Julius became the Caesar, which his name was Caesar. Then you had Augustus Caesar, Lepidus, if I'm not mistaken, and Mark Antony. The prominent person was Augustus Caesar. Then you had Tiberius Caesar. It says, and watch by course. That means you're going to rule for a while, you're going to get old and die, or you're going to get assassinated, and somebody's going to take your place. But let the heads be preserved for the last. That's talking about Julius as the head, so you can understand. And the last is the last of the kingdom. So Julius had to come back as Vespasian. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. Because the head wasn't always there. The head died, went to sleep. And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. I'll mention a couple of them. The first 4. The 8 contrary feathers were Crassus, Pompey, Antony, and Lepidus. Then there were 4 more. It says, "And so it was that when it rained, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up and reigned and had a great time." Who is that talking about? 13th verse. 2nd Ezras, chapter 11, verse 13. Who is that talking about, Deacon Akar? Who is that talking about? It's talking about Augustus Caesar, which was the nephew of Julius Caesar. And what it meant by a great time, some scholars say 41 years, some say 44, 45 years. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Going into the history, I don't know if he was assassinated. He probably got old and died. I'm not going to go in that history right now. It said, "Then came there a voice unto it and said, Hear thou that hast borne rule over the earth, the known earth, the Roman Empire, so long. This I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? We know that that's talking about Augustus Caesar. Don't tell me different. How did Augustus Caesar die? Augustus Caesar was
Natural
no.
causes. According to Britannica, Augustus was no stranger to assassination plots. Fortunately, Augustus did not suffer the same fate as his adoptive father, Julius Caesar. Augustus died of natural causes on August 19, 14 CE, at age 75.
Yeah, that's why he ruled. He got old and died. I wasn't sure whether he was assassinated or not. Now, the head in the midst, the first head of the three, was Julius Caesar he was assassinated. Okay, so now let's come back over here. And yes, I was struggling. I would have to admit I was struggling because I hadn't broke this down in 8 to 10 years ago. When we first broke it down, we had the documents all set up. Read a little bit more. It says, there shall none after thee attain unto thy time, neither unto the half thereof. Now, that's talking about Tiberius. Tiberius ruled, I'm not going to say it, I'm going to prove it. Prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. How many years did Tiberius rule in Rome?
According to simple Wikipedia, he ruled from 14 to 37 AD. He was the stepson of Caesar Augustus. Tiberius was one of ancient Rome's greatest generals, whose campaigns protected the northern frontier. He reigned for 22 years, and the first part of his imperial work was excellent.
Okay, so now it said, let me come back over here. So he reigned for 22 years from 14 to 37, right? 14. Wait a minute. Okay, there has to be 14 BC, 14. No. I'm sorry. The 14 AD to 37 AD, which is 22 years. But it says right here that it says, there shall none after thee attain unto thy time, neither unto the half thereof. So if Augustus ruled for 44 years, half of 44 is 22. Am I correct? So he had to live, he had to reign for maybe closer to 47, 48 years. Like I said, scholars argue about that. Some say 41, some say 44, some say 45, some say it makes more sense that he reigned for like 47, almost 48 years. Are we in agreement, Deacon the car, that this is talking about Augustus Caesar and Tiberius? Then rose the third. Who was the second? Augustus. Who was the first? Julius. Who was the third? Or third eagle, head, whatever you want to call it. Tiberius. And then you're going to make a statement about, I said something about Gog and Magog and Nate, and you pretty much said, oh, Nate said made more sense. No, he didn't. No, he did not. No, he didn't. You know it. So stop it. So went it with all the residue, one after another, as they every one reigned, and then appeared no more. We're talking about Caligula. Um, what's this guy that banished the Jews in Acts 18? I always forget his name. Give me a second. Let me do this. A list of the Caesars of Rome. Oh, they give me
Rome is a 2005 drama 2 seasons that first aired in 2005 and stars Ray Stevenson, Polly Walker, and Kieran Hines.
a list. I gotta watch this. Hey, I gotta watch this. Matter of fact, I'm a hold this. Let me do it this way. A list of Roman emperors. Okay, you had Julius, which is not mentioned here. Then you got Augustus, that's number 2. Then you got Tiberius. Then you got Caligula. Then you got Claudius. This is the guy that they didn't make too much mention about. This in the Apocrypha. They made mention of Julius. They made mention of Augustus, that he was the longest to reign. He was the second longest to reign, 22 years. Caligula. Also Claudius. And they were all related in some way or another, cousins or uncles or nephews, or they kept it in the family. So it's a really a dynasty. Claudius, Nero. Now look at Nero. You tell me that's not Donald Trump. And he came into rule when he was 16 years old. And he ruled to be about 30-something years old, and he committed suicide. Then you got the reign. It says year of the 4 emperors, from 68 to 69. You got Galba, Otho, which he committed suicide. And Vitalis, he was put to death. They were saying one put the other to death, but other scholars say that Vespasian was behind putting out the order to assassinate both of them, to kill both of them, murdered by soldiers of the Praetorian Guard, and a coup led by Otho. So Otho, according to the history, he put out the order to kill him, but he committed suicide. Vitalis was murdered by Vespasian troops. But they're saying Vespasian, really he was behind all of them getting put to death, but he put himself to death. Some scholars say he had a dream that he killed himself. When he woke up, he killed himself. Other scholars say different. Like right here, he said he committed suicide. It says committed suicide after losing the battle of Bedriacum to Vitalis. So they were fighting each other. He died of dysentery. He got sick and died. He ruled for 9 years. And yes, Nerva was Jake. That was Jake that ruled. That's why I said 12. These are all Jakes. They got them looking like Edomites, but these are all Jakes. Jake started ruling after Domitian was the last Edomite to rule. The rest of them were Jake. Now you had Edomites in certain high positions, but Edomites never ruled. They had partial rule in the western part of Roman Empire. The eastern part of turned into two separate empires, a split there, eastern and western. The western part of the empire died. The eastern part of the empire stayed. That was Jake. Jake was ruling back there, starting from Nerva. So went it with all the residue, one after another, as that every one reigned and then appeared no more. They died. They got killed, assassinated. They killed themselves, died in natural causes. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also, and some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more. That's going into. Let's read on. And some of them were set up, but ruled not. That's going into the year of the four Caesars. It was Galba, Otho, Vitalis, and then Vespasian ruled and didn't die, get assassinated. He ruled for 9 years. Has nothing to do with the Byzantine Empire. It said, after this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings, insignificant guys under them. Then saw I, that's not important, I'm not going to go all into it. Then saw I also the 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6 and remained under the head that was upon the right side, for the 4 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wings thought to set up themselves, and to have rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. That's Galba. Who killed them? Otho. And the second was sooner away than the first. That was Otho. He committed suicide. And I beheld, and lo, the 2 that remained, Vitalis and Vespasian, thought also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awake one of the heads that were at rest, namely it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the 2 other heads. So we're going back to Julius, the head in the midst. And then I saw that the two other heads would join with it, and behold, the head was turned with them that were with it. They were in agreement with each other, and did eat up the two feathers under the wing that would have reigned. But this head put the whole earth in fear, Vespasian, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth, so much oppression, and it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. That's Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. That's Vespasian dying of old age. He got sick. Let's go back to that. He died of a sickness, so nobody killed him. He didn't kill himself. But there remained the two heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth and over those that dwell therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it that was upon the left side. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou doest. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion, chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, and art not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world? What are the four beasts? Go back to Daniel 7, Daniel 2, that the end of their times might come through them. So where's the Byzantine Empire in this, unless you broke it down different? It said, and the fourth came, which is Roman Empire, and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world, known earth, and great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth. The Roman Empire didn't have power over the whole compass of the earth. Now you got people saying, well, that's talking about America, talking about Rome. Much oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth have not judged, have thou not judged with truth. You wasn't righteous. That's why we call it the pagan empire. For thou hast afflicted the meek, which are the Israelites. Thou hast hurt the peaceable, which are the Israelites. Thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. It was coming against the Israelites, 70 AD. But they were oppressing the other nations too. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they were ended, and his abomination and his abominations are fulfilled. Because the Roman Empire, the scriptures refer to him as an abomination. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body. Because who came in? You had Nerva, you had the first 5 emperors, which were Jake. They were known as the good emperors. Look it up. Then all the earth may be refreshed This is not talking about the kingdom of heaven. Now, when you read about the 5 good emperors, and you go to Google and you say, what did they do that was good? They did a lot of public works, and they helped the middle class and the poor. But there's a vast history on that. And may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. So that was like a refresh, if you can say. That reign of terror was from the time of Julius up until the time of Domitian. Then you had Jacob up in there. So now let's come over here. Let's listen to a little bit more. Let me listen to this.
Now, let's see if Vespasian died, how the Bible says the heads would die. Now, look at this, right? In 2nd Ezras 11 and 12, no, 11 and, watch this, everybody. 11 and 35. Look at this. And I beheld, and lo, the head that was on the right side devoured it that was on the left. So whoever the heads are, one of them heads will kill the other head. You understand that? Look at the next chapter. It goes a little bit in more detail. 2nd Ezra 12 and 26. And whereas thou sawest the great head appear no more. This is the middle head. The middle head shall die on his bed with pain. You understand that? He will die on his bed with pain, not by the sword, not in battle. That's how the middle head would die. But look what he says about the other two. The other two that remain shall be slain by the sword. So one of the heads would not die in battle, would die from some type of illness. The other two would die by the sword. It says, for the sword of the one shall devour the sword of the other. But at the last, he shall fall through the sword himself.
The sword of the one. The sword of the one. The sword of the one. Let me bring that back.
Shall be slain by the sword. So one, but look what he says, the sword, not in battle. That's how the middle head would bear with pain. You understand that? He would die on his bed with pain, not by the sword, not in battle. That's how the middle head would die. But look what he says about the other two. The other two that remain shall be slain by the sword. So one of the heads would not die in battle, would die from some type of illness. The other two would die by the sword. It says, for the sword of the one shall devour the sword of the other. But
the sword of the one shall devour the sword of the other is talking about what? The sword of the one shall devour the sword of the sword of the one shall devour the other one with a sword. That was Otho killing Galba.
At the last, he shall fall through the sword himself.
Who shall fall through the sword himself? That means who committed suicide? Who committed suicide? The one that committed suicide was Otho, because he killed Galba, and he had a battle with Vitellius and lost the battle. I read about that, and then he committed suicide. And then it was Vitellius was killed by the Praetorian Guards by orders of Vespasian. That's what that's talking about.
These three heads, the middle and great one would die on his bed, not from sword or battle, but from illness. The other head will kill the other head, and then that head who killed that head will commit suicide.
Who are they talking about? Who are they talking about? Put some names to it. Who is it talking about?
So let's take a look at all the heads who he said. Remember, he said the three heads are the first triumvirate, which we debunked that, Julius Caesar, didn't die from the other two heads. Neither did he die from some type of illness on his bed. That's debunked.
I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. I was talking about the heads in the beginning. I wouldn't say you're putting words in my mouth, my man.
Then he said that. Then he said that. Oh well, the three heads came back into reincarnation 100 years later, and now those three heads are Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. So let's just see how they died, and then we're done with that weak breakdown. How did they look at?
You want to call it a true breakdown, a weak breakdown? That's you're entitled to your opinion. But I broke it down right, my man.
This is, who's this? Domitian. Remember, he said Domitian was the middle head. He died by assassination. Well, the Bible says that the middle head would not die by the sword. Would die on his bed through poison.
No. You got to listen to the video, man. I never said that. What you just read in the Apocrypha had nothing to do. Domitian he probably wasn't even born at that time. I got to find out he was a kid. The previous verses that you read, mainly the 28, the 26, or the 28 verse, had nothing to do with Domitian. So you putting words in my mouth, man. During that time period, it was Galba, Ortho, Vitalis, and Vespasian. The one that died in pain was Ortho, that committed suicide. He killed Galba, and he committed suicide because he lost a battle to Vitalis. And the killing of Vitalis was by the guards, Praetorian Guard. So it was a coup by the orders of Vespasian. Vespasian he got old, sick, and he died of natural causes. I believe Titus died of natural causes too, and Domitian was assassinated.
Right? Not poison, Salakia, by illness. A highly detailed plot likely feared Domitian's reaching second. So it says he was assassinated by court officials. He was assassinated by court officials. Highly detailed plot to assassinate. Played the main role in the plot. Possible motive. Number of omens have been done. Assassination. Tax.
You got to go back in the time, man.
So he was stabbed.
What you just read.
During the attack, Stephanius and Domitian had struggled on the floor, during which time Stephan was stabbed by the emperor. And Domitian's body was carried. Okay. So it looks like he died from a stabbing. He got stabbed or something. That's what it looks like. Right? So now the other two heads, this just disproves that Domitian can't be the middle head.
I never said that. I never said that, bruh. I never said that. That's why I'm covering it right now.
He got stabbed to death. What it looks like an attack from.
You sound like you struggling, bro. You sound like you struggling. Talking about I'm struggling. Yeah, I was struggling a little bit because I hadn't did this in like 8 to 10 years.
Stephanus. Either way, it's not like how the Bible said. Now, let's disprove. Remember, Titus. Now, if Titus and Vespasian are the other two heads, remember what the Bible says in 2 Ezras 12 and 28. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last he shall fall through his sword. So if those other, somebody said, I am so confused. I am too, because this is a GMS breakdown. So I'm sorry you guys are confused. I am too. It's just like a Christian trying to explain the Trinity. It doesn't make any sense. So once we give the proper breakdown, you guys will have the full understanding.
You ain't got the proper breakdown.
Now, if GMS is right, and these last two heads are Titus and Vespasian, one would have to kill the other, and then one would have to kill himself. Now,
I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. What was I talking about when you was in these verses right here, right here? I didn't mention I didn't mention Titus and Domitian. I was talking about Galba, Otho, Vitalis, and Vespasian. That's what I was talking about. So you got to get your characters right.
Now let's see how Titus died. Titus.
But wait a minute. 8-10 years ago, you said that was talking about the Byzantine Empire.
Died at the closing of the games. Titus officially dedicated to the amphitheater and the baths of Titus. He set out for Sabine, where he died of a fever. Oh, GMS, you're done.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because you're talking about different you're reading one. Look at this, man. Hold up. Hold up, man. Hold up, man. Hold up, Ock. Let me come back over here. Let me come back as 11. Let me see. 26. And I beheld in lo. Now he's talking about Titus and Domitian. Ain't talking about Titus and Domitian, man. It's talk right this from this verse, from these verses right over here. It's talking about what? It's talking about Galba, Otho, Vitalis, and Vespasian. You talking about Titus and Domitian. This is not even talking. This is before Titus and they were kids back then. They were coming up. These verses right here is talking about Galba, Otho, Vitalis, and Vespasian. That's what it's talking about. You're talking about, see, Tahar said that Domitian. No, I never said this is not. I didn't say that, brother. Go and watch my video again. I'm breaking it down for you the right way now. You talking about I'm struggling. You struggling, bruh. But it's all good. Oops. What the hell? Bear me for a minute. Okay, let me come over here.
GMS, you're done, because you said Domitian was the middle head. He would die in his deathbed. The other two heads you said was Titus and.
Never said that. Putting words in my mouth. Watch my video again. Matter of fact, you're going to be watching this video so you can correct yourself.
Vespasian, they're supposed to kill each other. Then one's supposed to kill itself. You're done.
Never said that. You're putting words. You're doing like vocab, bro. The other day, Vocab did a video about concerning dealing with Deuteronomy 28. I caught it. It was alive. I caught it when he was around about the 50th, 52nd verse, which we all know is talking about the Roman Empire when he was under Roman rule. And he was saying, well, you guys say it was in America. Nope, never said that. Never said that. What you're saying that I'm saying, you're putting words in my mouth. So that's why I got to do this thing again. You're done. You're done. You wish I was done.
How did Vespasian die? Let's take a look at Vespasian.
Vespasian got sick and died. Matter of fact, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. Vespasian. These were Jakes. Even though they look like crackers. Like Spartacus, they got to eat him like to play Spartacus was a Jake. Okay, let me see. Vespasian. You ask, how did he die? Began construction of the Colosseum, which is the Flavian amphitheater. Look it up. Died of dysentery. So he got sick and didn't recover from his sickness. Titus died of natural causes. Domitian was assassinated. What year was that? Give me a second. That was 96. And this was around, scholars argue, John on the Isle of Patmos, he was on the Isle of Patmos during this time. So I don't know who, I got to go into it to who sentenced him, but I believe it was Domitian that sentenced him to to the Isle of Patmos. But it doesn't tell you what happened to John. Did he ever get off the island? Come on back.
His ninth goes returning home. He spent every summer. His illness worsened. He developed severe diarrhea. Philip overwearing deathbed. He enacted. So it seems like he also died by fever, by an illness. Neither of these guys killed the other one and then killed themselves.
You got the characters wrong, man. You gotta come back in the history, bro. You talking about Titus and Domitian. I wasn't talking about no Titus and Domitian. The 26th verse to the 28th verse is not talking about Titus and Domitian. It's talking, let me say it again, it's talking about Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and Vespasian. And his oldest son, Titus, had to come up in the ranks, and he was a general. He was the general that led the armies to defeat the Israelites. It was really Alexander Tiberius, Julius Tiberius Alexander. He was the experienced guy, but Titus got the credit because he was a young man, but he was a general.
You, my friends, are freaking done.
Oh no, we're not. We're not done. We're freaking done. You wish we were freaking done. We're not done. We're not done.
So now we can turn this bullshit off and get into the breakdown.
Hey, you're in danger of blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. You can call my breakdown, my divine breakdown, bullshit. You better repent. You got your errors all mixed up.
All right, y'all ready? Put them bombs in the chat. I'm sorry I had to do that, y'all. I'm sorry I had to do that, but I just had to show you guys how stupid that their understanding of 2 Ezra 11 and 12 is. I had to do it. So
he didn't listen to the whole tape. Like I said, he was in the wrong era. The 26th verse to the 28th verse has nothing to do with Titus and Domitian. They weren't even on the scene. They were either very young or maybe even Domitian wasn't even born at that time. You got to do more research. So you're putting words in my mouth.
Sorry. And you guys, all you guys have to do is disqualify who they say the heads are on the eagle, and it's it. That's it. It's done. All right, put them bombs in the chat, y'all. Let's get the correct breakdown through the spirit and power of the Most High God. And I promise you, you guys will not be confused. So I want you guys to just ask yourselves, what sounds better?
It ain't about what sounds better. It's about what the truth is, man. If somebody asks me directions to someplace and I stutter and I'm putting my hand on my head and I'm wait a minute, but I give them the right directions. I stutter a little bit. I got to think a little bit. I got to call somebody. But there's a guy that gives you the directions, like a great orator. You go this way, go that way. Then they listen to the guy. Then the guy gets lost. Yeah, because you listen to the guy because of them sweet words. People can give you the truth and stutter, and not be sure, and struggle. That's why you're saying let's see who sounds better. You're guilty of Romans chapter 16, 17, and 18.
More logical? What's more reasonable?
Why are you using those words logical, reasonable, which sounds better? you're causing somebody to let me pick this side or that side. But let's go on and
You
listen.
saying that?
I got a big smile on my face right now.
Okay, some bombs in the chat. All right, let's get the correct breakdown on this, right? So I was comparing and contrasting the GNT, which is the Good News Translation, and the KJV for Second Ezra's, the 12 feathers breakdown. All right, so let's go. Again, if you were in Sakari Varsity, you got all this good breakdown last month before they even challenged this. All right, let's go, y'all. Somebody gonna be blessed today. Just see how simple this is. It's not even deep and complicated. Second Ezra 11 and 1. Second Ezra 11 and 1. What? Naphtali. Okay. It says, I've been learning and listening to a lot of you guys' teachings, and I see a lot of fallacies within you. Okay, well, listen, go make your own, whoever you are, Naphtali, go make your own channel and do your own breakdown of Second Ezra 11 and 12.
And so you get confused.
How about that? It's very simple.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's what we need, another stumbling block.
You could just find some silly women to follow you. I guarantee you, Naphtali. Matter of fact, Naphtali, since you want to scrutinize, who are the three heads who are the 12 feathers? Who are the 12 feathers and the three heads in Second Ezra 11 and 12? Since Naphtali's got the breakdown. Huh, sister? I don't even challenge sisters. I feel bad beating up on sisters until they get prideful and pompous. So who are the 12 feathers, sister, in Second Ezra 11 and 12? Who are the 12 feathers? Oh, she's going to let us know. If I give you the link, are you going to break it down? Who the 12 feathers are and the three heads? It's not a he, it's a she. It's a she. If I give you the link, sister,
just cut
are you going to break down these 12 feathers and these three heads in Second Ezra? Because I want to get a good laugh before we go into this presentation. Look at her trying to skim read. She's trying to skim read Second Ezra real quick. That's the only way she's getting the link. I need a good laugh. She trying to hurry up and skim read it real quick.
I want you to hurry up and break this thing down. Oh no, I want to see how you break it down. We're gonna see.
She's trying to hurry up and skim read it. Where you at, sister?
That's why we don't do. We cut the sisters off.
I can tell you a lot more than that. No. I said, what's the breakdown on Second Ezra 11 and 12?
Why are you playing with the sister?
Somebody put her on timeout. She needs to go and sit in the corner. All right, so let's do this, y'all. Got about an hour to get through 200 slides.
He gonna put the spiritual dunce cap on her ass. She in the corner with the spiritual dunce cap.
All right, so let's do this. All right. Now, Second Ezra 11, we're going to start at verse 1. You'll find this breakdown. That's not Sanetta's wife. Sanetta's wife is Napash, not Naphtali. So anyway, Second Ezra's.
Naphtali, I think, is the woman that was down with Fopi. Because she liked to think she a teacher. But look, you women better not. You best not come on my page talking shit. You better say shalom and keep it moving or ask a question. All right? Because we don't tolerate that nonsense at GMS.
This breakdown of Ezra's eagle will be found in 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and 2nd Ezra chapter 12.
If you if you don't sound right, I'm cutting them off.
So we're going to start from the very beginning. 2nd Ezra 11 and 1. The second night I had a dream, and I saw an eagle come up out of the sea. It had 12 wings and 3 heads. Now, why is he being shown an eagle? The eagle represents the Roman Empire. Some Israelites say this is end time prophecy. I'm going to sadly show you guys it's not.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I commend you, brother. I commend you Some say it's America, and it's not. He's 100% correct. He's absolutely correct.
The Aquila. The Aquila is what the Romans they identify the eagle as the Aquila, right?
Yeah, Aquila is Greek for eagle. Like you had Aquila and Priscilla. Aquila. If you go to the blue letter, go to Acts 18 and 1 on down. It mentions about the companions of Paul, Aquila and Priscilla. Click on the word Aquila, and the word simply means eagle. That's what it means. The SPQR means Senate, as in Latin. Senate Publica, which is the people. The Q represents K, which is for what, and the R represents republic or republica. Senate, the Senate, and the people are for what? A republic. What is a republic? Respublica means the public thing. The public thing is a law, ruled by law. Aquila means eagle. Aquila and Priscilla. Matter of fact, you're just making that up, dog. Okay, let's see if I'm making this up. Let's see if I'm making this up. X. I don't even think my man Deacon the Card knew that. Okay, where we at? Okay, Aquila. Let's click on the word Aquila. Aquila. Let me let you hear it.
Strong's G 207. Aculas.
Or Aquila. An eagle. I said it was an eagle, and I proved it. Prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. So I'm good.
Right? An Aquila, eagle, was a prominent symbol used in ancient Rome, especially as the standard of a Roman legion. A legionary known as the Aquilifer, the eagle bearer, carried this standard. Each legion carried one eagle. The eagle had a quasi-religious importance to the Roman soldier, far beyond being merely a symbol of his legion. To lose a standard or to lose that eagle was extremely grave, and the Roman military went to great lengths both to protect a standard.
Thank you. There's a movie out that came out some years ago. I believe it was like 2010. Good movie. It was called The Eagle. And I believe the eagle was stolen by the Picts or the Germanic tribes, and they had to get the eagle back. Because during that year, if I'm not mistaken, there was 2 movies based upon ancient Rome. One of the movies, what was the other one? I think one of them was Centurion, and the other one was the eagle. And you had to protect that standard, which is the golden eagle. It was good. Both movies were good. Both, and they really got into. You look like you was back in ancient Rome. So if you can watch them movies, watch them movies. And I'm gonna definitely let me do this. Okay. I don't know if you got to pay for this or what. I don't know if this is. I believe this is on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. Okay, it's HBO. As a matter of fact, let me do this, because you might have to pay for this. Okay, you got to pay for each season. Okay, is it on Prime? Because I can get it on Prime. So you got to pay for it. But there's a lot of good documentaries on the Roman Empire. Let's come back over here.
And to recover it if it was lost. After the annihilation of 3 legions in the Teutoburg forest, the Romans spent decades retaliating for the defeat while also attempting to recover the 3 lost eagles.
And that's what that movie was based off. The one of the legions that lost it, they had that was the whole movie was based off getting the eagle back. That symbol.
So this is why they use that eagle. They look at it as an
symbol of Esau.
And also a quasi-religious soul like a deity, right? Now, also, we know the Romans are Edomites. So Obadiah 1 and 4, the eagle, the symbol of all the Edomites, or at least all the major kingdoms of the Edomites. Obadiah 1 and 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, speaking about the Edomites here, and thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, right? So, why is the eagle coming up out of the sea? Why is the eagle coming up out of the sea? Anybody? It doesn't matter, because I don't have time to look at the chat anyway. The eagle is coming out of the sea because the sea or waters represent a multitude of people or a heavily populated area in the which Rome, the Middle East, Africa, all of that. So in Revelation 13, you'll see the beast coming out of the earth that represent America in Revelation 13, coming up out of the earth because America was not a heavily dense populated place during the time of its conquest. You understand that? So Revelation 17 and 15 proves that. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Understand that? All right. The Roman Empire rose up from a heavily populated place on the earth. John in Revelation also saw the Roman Empire coming up out of the sea, right? It's very important when a prophet sees the beast coming out of the sea. These are heavily populated areas that these empires are going to start. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, Revelation 13 and 1, and I saw a beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns upon his horns, and 10 crowns, and upon his horns, rather, 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. This is talking about the ancient Roman Empire in Revelation 13 and 1, right? So back in 2nd Ezra 11 and 1, and it had 12 wings and 3 heads. The 12 feathers or wings, right? The GNT calls it wings. The KJV calls it feathers. It's the same.
Yep. Feathers, wings, it's the same.
It represents the first 12 Caesars of the Roman Empire. I'm going to say that again. It represents the first 12 Caesars of the Roman Empire. The 3 heads represent the Constantine dynasty, which is the beginning of the Byzantine Empire.
This guy is good. Hey, so I got to turn it off now. He is. How in the hell can it be talking about the Byzantine Empire? It ain't talking about the Byzantine Empire. So if y'all want to build on this, y'all can. That's what's called a liver. I just hit him with a liver shot. He's done.
All right. So the 3 heads represent the Constantine dynasty. And not only do the 3 heads represent the Constantine dynasty, you're going to learn a little bit more. Watch. Divida Caesarum, right? Commonly known as the 12 Caesars. This is why it says 12 feathers, because it's called the 12 Caesars. Is a set of 12 biographies of Julius Caesar and the first 11 emperors of the Roman Empire, written by Gaius Suetonius Tranquillus. The group of 12 Caesars are Julius Caesar, Augustus, we're going to prove all this, Tiberius, Caligula.
Didn't I say that? Did not I say that? I don't know where the hell you get the Constantine Byzantine Empire in 2nd Ezra 11 and 2nd Ezra 12.
Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus.
And I mentioned all those guys that he's mentioning.
And Domitian, right? So while GMS is correct on who the 12 feathers are, they also say some of the 8 feathers are the same as the 12 feathers, and some of the 8 feathers and 12 feathers are all.
No. You notice how it said Julius 1, and then it went down to Tiberius, and Augustus, Tiberius. The contrary feathers would be Pompey and Crassus. What's the other two? Lepidus and Mark Antony. Those will be contrary feathers. The 12 feathers represent the first 12 Caesars. And the first one was considered also a head, a major feather, so you can understand.
Also the heads, but they did not die or accomplish what the Bible said they would do in detail, so therefore they are debunked. The work written in the 121 AD during him, so we got that. That's not even any of disputation who the 12 feathers are. They're the first 12 emperors of Rome. Some would say the Julio-Flavian dynasty. You understand that? See, if you were in Sakari Varsity Online Academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics, you probably would have got this breakdown last month. All right, 2nd Ezra 11 in verse 2. As I looked, it spread out its wings over the whole world, right? It spread out its wings over the whole world. The Roman Empire ruled the known world, not the literal earth.
Did I say that? Did I say that?
Because you got some Israelites who might say, well, how did the Roman Empire rule over the whole world? Well, this isn't talking about the whole known world, what you would call in the Greek the oikomene. Understand that? And so they didn't even understand about the fourth part of the world. John the Revelator is the one who knew about the fourth part of the world, and also some of the Northern Kingdom Israelites, and also some of the Tyrians, Zidonians, who had that navy with Hiram and
the Canaanites,
Solomon.
yeah.
They knew about the fourth part of the world.
Hiram.
The ancients thought of it most ancients thought of it as a three-part world: Africa, Europe, and Asia, right? Now, verse 2, what does this mean? 2nd Ezra 11 and 2. Winds blew on it from every direction, and clouds gathered over it. What does that mean that the winds blew upon this eagle from every direction? Wind represents destruction or war. Jeremiah 51 and 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. So, winds blowing on the eagle from every direction means the Roman Empire was always at war with everyone to expand its territory until its end.
Yeah, because they were.
That's what that means.
When they were
verse 3 in 2nd Ezra chapter.
Hold up. Of course, because they were fighting to take their land, and people were fighting back. And what happened was the Roman Empire, they didn't put people into slavery. They did what was called a tribute, which is a tax. They said, look, you can keep your religion, you can call on your God, you can keep your high holy days, you can speak Hebrew, but we're going to tax you, which is a tribute. Then we'll leave you alone. If you don't give us the taxes, we're going to destroy you. And that's what ultimately happened in 70 AD. From 66 to 70, even unto 74 AD. They were heavily taxing the Israelites. That's why when they defeated them, they raided the temple.
11. Then from its wings I saw rival wings begin to grow. This is important, but they were small and insignificant. What does it mean, small and insignificant? That they didn't have complete power. You had Augustuses and you had Caesars. We'll get that in a second. Both emperors, but juniors and seniors. See, this is history that I had to labor and do to give to you, right? So, contrary. In the KJV, it says contrary. In the GNT, it's saying rival. Why? Because you had the dominant and the principate. We're going to get to that in a second.
Yeah, perfect example is Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus. They were jockeying for position. When you go into that history, there's even movies on that. How they had like a false friendship and they were setting each other up. I'm not going to go into the whole details of it, but they were jockeying. They were jockeying to get that top position, and Julius was the one, which is the head, became that prominent. He became the prominent person. The other two feathers or wings, whatever you call it, they were contrary.
These rival wings and contrary feathers began when the empire split from east to west. I like saying it like that.
No, it did not. You're wrong on that. Let me go ahead and bring that up. He knows I give him credit. He getting down, but he's making turns. He's going to a direction, but he's making these turns and he's getting lost. Okay. Now I'm going to phrase this. The split of the Roman Empire, east and west. Let's see what comes up. Let's see if the little lady speaks. In 286. This is when Jake was in power. Because remember, Septimius Severus came into power in 196 AD. So this is 286 AD. The Roman Empire was split into Eastern and Western empires. Each ruled. The Western Empire suffered several Gothic invasions, and AD 455 was sacked by Vandals. Rome continued to decline after that until AD 476, when the Western Roman Empire came to an end. And these were Jake's ruling. You had Edomites in the mix, but Jake was in the power seat. So the kingdom got split. In AD 476, the Western Empire was done with. It was done. The Eastern Empire thrived. Hence the Byzantine Empire. We had control over that region. A lot of history you got to go into.
The rival wings represent the Byzantine Empire, the Constantine dynasty, east versus the west. Now, I'm going to add something here because I'm not saying it's all of the Byzantine Empire.
He's going off. He's sticking with this Byzantine Empire. It's not talking about the Byzantine Empire. It's talking about from Julius Caesar to Domitian, which is called the 12 feathers. And it talks about the heads, the head in the middle and the head, 3 heads, and the head went to sleep and came back, was preserved until the end. That's reincarnation. Julius came back as Vespasian. Reincarnation is biblical. So we can close it right here. Now, if you want to sit down there and listen to the rest of this, the next hour, because there's an hour left, you can go ahead and listen to it. I don't got to listen to it no more. I asked a question. Do you still believe that the Byzantine Empire is mentioned in 2nd Ezra 11 and 2nd Ezra 12? And the answer is absolutely no. I broke it down the right way. Now, you can go ahead and follow him all you want. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one.